Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Rebecca here for the video that I posted in my community tab, the Q&A video about the new hubs. So just so y'all know, I did not ask his permission to film this video, so I have wrangled him against his will to answer these questions for you guys. But I figured we would get some good insight from the Q&A here because, as I have mentioned in some other videos, Christopher here is already fired and I'm still working my way there. So without further ado, we will answer all the questions in the Q&A, and I'm not going to do these in any particular order. We're just out and about for a walk today, and whenever we find a good spot to film some answers to your questions, we'll do it. Okay, question number one is from This Is How We Roll, and the question was, or really, the statement, I would love to know the story of how you met and how your first in real life meeting went.
It went good.
Obviously it went pretty good because now we're married, but so I'll give from my perspective first. So if you were not aware, there actually exists a dating website for people who are interested in the FIRE movement. So the website back when we were on it was not very much to look at, but for what it's worth, if any of you out there are single, it worked for us. It was firedating.me, I think. But yeah, that's how we met anyway online. I put my profile up there when I felt like I was ready to start talking to people again, and I actually did kind of have the thought cross my mind, like, I have this YouTube channel, what if somebody recognizes me? But at the time I only had 1,400 subscribers. I mean, my channel is still small, but it was even smaller back then. So I thought, okay, you know, get over yourself. There is no way that anybody would recognize you on this website. So you're not that famous. Get over yourself. Go ahead and put up your profile. So that's what I did. A couple days later, I get a message. Hi, I recognize you from your YouTube channel. And, you know, he told me the screen name he went under on my channel. And I was like, oh God, somebody has recognized me. But, from there, it just snowballed and blossomed. I mean, we talked every single day from that moment on and just got to know each other better. I mean, this was during COVID and travel shutdowns, so we couldn't meet each other in real life until 10 months after we first started talking online. So yeah, we waited a long time to meet each other in person, but by that point, I mean, we already knew that we really liked each other. You know, I just felt like he was being genuine. I knew I was being genuine. And so when we met in real life, it just felt very natural. And yeah, I mean, we have flown back and forth since then, and we see each other as much as we can. So that first in real life meeting went fabulously. It was like a fairy tale. So yeah, that was my perspective on it. And what did you think about our meeting and then first in real life meeting?
I know, you were dressed in red.
Yep. I'm actually wearing the same shirt that I was wearing when we met. Ironically, that was not planned.
Coming out from the airport, and I couldn't go into the airport to like meet you because of COVID, so this big signs don't enter. Yeah. So I had to sneak in a bit in the airport and looking like, what exit should she take, so I could text over, that's the exit you need to take. I was like hoping that she wouldn't take another exit, so then we had a problem finding each other. But yeah,
I was so worried. I was so worried that we wouldn't be able to actually find each other because, you know, we had never met in real life. So that's why I wore like a giant long sleeve red t-shirt so that like he could spot me easily, right?
Yeah, I was hanging out on Reddit when I read a post that was saying like, hey, I just put up this site, you might go and look at it, this has to do about fire and dating. I was like, yeah, whatever, I did websites down 20 years ago. I created websites myself, so I thought I would go and check it out and see if it's any good. So I log into it and it's like, oh God, this looks horrible.
The website is very basic, yeah, you guys.
It might have been improved now for a year.
True.
2 years, but I logged in and was like, God, this looks horrible. Okay, I created an account, filled in my stuff in there, and you can browse people. So I select browsing people. Okay. No one on the site or almost. So like, okay, Europe. Let's check all of Europe. I must have clicked all the world or something. I don't know. Looking through the pictures, I was like, hey, I recognize that face. Isn't that from Rebecca's Quest to Fire?
Yes.
So I went over to the YouTube and like scrolled back. I just seen a few of the videos, 5 or something. Scrolled back and like, yeah, that's her.
It was me.
So okay, I need to say hi at least. I mean, hello viewer. Hi.
Yep.
And down that road it is.
Yep. It went from there. I never would have thought that anybody would have recognized me. And that just goes to show that I was so hesitant about even starting my YouTube channel, but I'm really glad that I did because it brought us together. So yeah, couldn't have foreseen that ahead of time. So yeah, again, I'll put the screenshot of the website that we used up on this video. And if you guys want to check it out, especially if you're a single lady, I mean, the odds are ever in your favor, because I understand that personal finance is not really an interest for a lot of people, but for me it was quite important. And it seems like for women in general, there aren't as many women out there who are interested in investing and building wealth like we are in this community. So, you know, if you're a single lady, I would say that it's worth it to at least check out that website. It worked for me, so maybe we should send them our like success story sometime.
We could. They actually asked for it, so.
Oh, did they?
Not from us specifically, but it said like if anyone has success on this, please email us.
I noticed that too.
It say that, so.
So yeah, now we should probably send them our story. It would be a cool one, really. I mean, who does this? You know.
I don't know.
We do, apparently.
Apparently.
All right, moving on. We'll find another spot for our next question. All right. The next question is all to do with Christopher. So, Thea Eriksson, I hope I said your name right.
Sounds Swedish, Eriksson.
Sounds Swedish, yeah. But they asked, I'd love to hear his FIRE journey. How did he come to the idea? What was his strategy? Etc., etc. So happy for you guys. So, thank you.
Very easy when I stepped on to working life and like walking down in Stockholm. It's windy and icy and snowy and not a nice day, and I was 20, I don't know, early 20, and I was like, I can't do this until I'm 65. That's not possible. I will do this until I'm 40, then I will step down and have an easier work. I didn't know about FIRE, of course. I didn't know about investing, but I kind of understood that I need to live on less and do something else with the money, maybe rental or something. I have no idea. And it actually went on like that until I became 38, I think, which is a big decision point where I more or less discovered the FIRE. I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, then I fired when I'm 45.
What was your investing strategy?
Not investing in houses.
Yeah.
I took out the mortgage, I bought the house, and I invested everything. So I didn't pay down the mortgage. I invested instead.
So this was not a real estate path to FI, which again is kind of my strategy too. I just don't really want the stress of having to deal with rentals. To me, that feels too much like a job. I would rather just grow my own portfolio and manage it myself. I feel like that would be less stressful than having to deal with rental properties. But, you know, other people argue the merits of building wealth through real estate, and it's definitely a very viable path, but that's not one you chose. It's not one that I'm going to choose either.
Yeah, I did rent out for a while, but that was just for 1 year when I moved over and I had my old home. Still couldn't sell it because of the 2008. But some other people who got unlucky, they got a big water damage in their kitchen and they wanted to rent my place, and so hey, I rented out for a year. All
right, next question is also for Christopher, and this is from Sarah Thompson. She wanted to know what surprised him the most once he achieved FIRE. I'm sure he had some expectations, but what was something that surprised him that he was not expecting?
Yeah, this was quite like, oh, I didn't expect that at all. I expected to quit on Friday, continue working with my own stuff on Monday. That happened a bit, but after a trip over to Rebecca and back, and I really like, I'm like, now I should start working with this. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I couldn't touch the work equipment for 8 months. I got physically ill sitting down at the office. I'm like, I should work, and I can't touch it. I just can't. I need to go out in the woods, be by myself.
And for people who don't know, you worked as a software engineer this whole time.
20
so
years.
computers, and you thought you would just continue that, but couldn't do it.
No.
Can you do it now?
I can.
Yeah. So the amount of decompression time, I guess, was probably a big surprise for you.
Yes.
So
almost a year. Almost.
Yeah. And I'm really glad that I am in a relationship with somebody who has already gone through this. We were actually talking a little bit about this morning, but I think that whenever I get to the point of being able to fire, it will really help me in many ways to be with somebody who has already gone through this and kind of faced some of these surprises and mental challenges that happens when you do a big life change like financial independence and retire early. All right, so the next question I just wanted to film really quickly here because look how cool this is. I love all these birch trees in Sweden. It's so pretty. And this one had a cool mushroom on it. So I was like, okay, we can answer one here. But next question, I forget who it's from. And I just looked at it, sorry. But I'll put the screenshot in the video here. But they were asking, again, Christopher, how much do you spend a year in Sweden?
180,000 Swedish.
Which is roughly around
20K.
Around 20K for dollars. And you guys may be surprised to know, I will tell on Christopher now, but he does not actually budget. Doesn't have a written budget, not even a spreadsheet.
Nope.
Red flag. All right, so we realized that to an American ear, $20,000 a year is going to sound very cheap.
To Swedish also, by the way.
Yeah. So we figured we would do a little walk and talk and let you expound on that a little bit further.
Yeah, owning my own home, of course. Small apartment, used car. Yeah, that's it. I like to be out in the nature, so I don't spend that much money that way. It's a bit on tech stuff because I'm a tech geek, but except that, I don't spend much money.
Frugal lifestyle, you guys. It gets such a bad rap, but it works. Like, it's effective. So if you're not spending as much money, then you don't need so much money to retire early, right? Living proof right here. Okay, so we're walking in the woods here, and a very cool thing that you see in the Swedish woods are fairy houses that I'm guessing kids just put out here for all of the fairies that live in the woods. But look at this, you guys. So you got all of these nice pretty woods out here, but then when you look a little closer, we got a fairy house taco bar down here, little gnome. And then if they're feeling like having sushi one night, they just come over to the sushi bar tree, right? You see things like that all around here. Here's another one with a gnome.
That's a cinema.
It's cute. Okay, so the next question came from Q over at his channel, Q Makes It Happen. Y'all check him out if you have not seen Q's channel before, but he asked, how was long distance dating? So for me, really, it's a bit of an odd question because when we first started talking, obviously 5,000 miles is a long way away, but it was a little bit of a extenuating circumstance with COVID and everything going on. So in a way, I think that it was beneficial for the relationship because we had no reason to try to hide anything from each other. I mean, when he first said hello to me, it was because he recognized me from my YouTube channel, and y'all know that I put everything out there on the channel, so I kind of felt like he already knew me in a way, and so I had no reason to hide anything. And I know that, he didn't have any reason to hide anything from me because COVID was going on. It's not like we could see each other even if we wanted to. Like I mentioned before, we had to wait 10 months to see each other. So in a way, it was kind of a good thing, but obviously being that far away from each other is really hard. And it does suck in that aspect when you have feelings for somebody and you would like to see them and you just can't at the drop of a hat. The time difference was another challenge, and not only the time difference, but y'all know I work third shift, so that was another challenge we had to work through, but we made it work.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, when I said hello, it was, to be honest, I didn't care if she answered or not, so it would be nice to say hello, but then quite soon we discovered that I need to talk to each other kind of each day, and yeah, and then come the question, well, should we continue doing that? And I was obvious answer on that one, yes.
Yeah.
So then you are in a long distance relationship, so there you go.
Yeah, at first we just started talking to each other, I think because we were more or less just curious about each other. I was curious about the fact that somebody actually recognized me from the YouTube channel, and he just wanted to say, hey, I recognize you from the channel. But, we just started talking back and forth, and we just clicked. Like, even though we were so far away, we're very much on the same wavelength. We joke all the time about how we're the same person, and it's so strange to think about that because we do live so far away from each other, completely different upbringings. But when you have that spark with somebody, I think you just feel it. You just kind of know that there's something there, and you want to keep talking and kind of see where it goes. And so that's what we did, and here we are now. Yeah,
and it's cold.
Yeah, it's very cold. That's why we're all very rosy-cheeked and everything. But we got one more question, so we'll find another spot to film, and that'll be that. Okay, last question was again for Christopher. And the question was, if he's already fired, then how are we going to navigate the Sweden to America retirement rules? Because the plan as of right now for us is when I go back home at the end of this trip, we're going to start the visa process for him, and he will move over to America for at least until I'm ready to fire. And by that time, we should have a better idea of where we'll go from there, whether we want to just keep living in the US or potentially move back here to Sweden. So yeah, how are you handling the retirement rules?
Like I'm handling the budgeting.
We don't know.
I have no idea. I just figured out that if you have dual citizenship, some banks don't want to talk to you, and apparently my bank is one of those banks, so I need to figure out that one first. Retirement, I have no idea.
Yeah, basically we're just gonna handle things as they come. We'll talk to all of the appropriate people, obviously, as we need to, the banks, the brokerages, tax professionals, because it works both ways. He needs to know what he's up for getting the dual citizenship and moving over to the US, just like at some point I'm going to need to know what I am up against getting dual citizenship. I mean, even if we never live here, I'll still probably get citizenship here, so.
Probably would be good at it.
Yeah, so we have to figure out the tax implications both ways on that. So that's just an ongoing process. Sorry, we don't really have a concrete answer for that one, but we're learning as we go too. So that was the last question that we had for this video. So I will go ahead and wrap it up here. And thanks if you made it this far in the video. It's an exciting time to be on the fire journey. So yeah, we are now married for what, a week now?
Yeah.
We still like each other so far. Things are going well.
I think she likes me.
Yeah, I think he's starting to figure out that I really actually do like him. So, yeah, we're just taking things one day at a time, one challenge at a time, because it is a very odd situation to try and do this at different points in the fire journey, but then also merging lives considering we live in different countries. So it's an exciting thing, but I tell you, it is like a complete night and day difference to have somebody who is on your same wavelength when it comes to this like financial independence mindset.
And budgeting.
Yeah. Well, this just goes to show that as much as I love budgeting, you don't have to have a strict budget to reach your goals. Christopher's just naturally frugal, so that's a good thing.
Well, I have a budget.
You have a budget, but it's a mental
it's
budget.
A mental one. Yeah.
And that works for some people. For me, it clearly did not work. If you go back to the beginning of this channel, the whole reason I started was because I knew I needed to get out of debt, and financial independence definitely interested me. It was a long-term goal, but I knew that it was going to be a long-term goal. So YouTube helps hold me accountable, and who knew, it actually brought us together too in a way. So that's amazing. But yeah, that covers it for all the questions that we got from my community post. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll see you in my next video. Maybe we'll feature Christopher again later too sometime. Bye guys.